morning, welcome to the Pasks of Pen Hen. It's the 22nd of July, 9:31, and it is already 35 degrees. Okay, so this is the polytunnel, which is ridiculously hot. We've actually had to cut out some of the sides, which we'll have to put flaps in for later on because it is just been so hot in here. Things were starting to cook. So in here we've got some butternut squash, which are just starting to change colour. These are the Crown Prince squash, which are huge, absolutely huge. So these, when they're ripe, go grey and have got a really lovely orange flesh. So here we have Pepper Alley. See if the water's on. Yeah, just move the hose pipe. Just really low water pressure today. The peppers are coming really well. We've got just waiting for a lot of them to just go pretty colours now. Here, so yeah, this squash is kind of taken over the place, but it's great. So more peppers. The coriander has gone to seed because I make a lot of curries, so that'll be dried and ground down for ground coriander. Courgette here looking really scruffy because I tied it up today. It's been trod on continuously, so it's going to be safer tied up. Some of my garlic drying, a lot of it I've already peeled and put in oil for easy garlic. These are some of the seedlings that are starting to cook a bit, which is why we cut the window out. So these are broccoli so we've got broccoli, swede, sprouts, cauliflowers, all for the autumn beds to go over winter. Got my aubergine, which are doing very well. I've picked a colossal aubergine this morning and we've got a few growing on there. They haven't necessarily fruited that well yet, so I've been going around this morning and tapping the plants because that's apparently how they germinate. Got a few melons coming, so a couple nearly ready and some more juvenile ones. Again, lots of coriander that's gone to seed, and any further plantings of coriander that I've put in have gone to seed straight away, so I'm going to hold back a little while before I do that anymore. Here is where I have my gherkins, but I've already done about 12 big jars of gherkins, so that came out today, and I've got my dill going to seed for pickling later in the year. So my cucumber plants, so we seem to have lots of round veg this year. So these are little yellow cucumbers. This is about the size they grow. They go a little bit more yellow than that. We've had about 40 cucumbers so far. So what else have we got here? Some more seedlings. These melons were just grown from pips not so long ago. So all the tomatoes now. So we've got 4 big beds of tomatoes. They're all starting to ripen now, which is great. Already picked some, got some in the freezer. I will be bottling them, making sauces, pasta sauces and things as time goes by, as we get more ripen in one go. Here I've got my chamomile flowers for chamomile teas. I've been picking and drying. Lots of basil. So my San Marino tomatoes, my Italian plums. Got some beefsteak tomatoes in the back there. There we go. Some just ordinary, I think those are Elsa Craig tomatoes. Some yellow tomatoes. Some, I think those are Golden Sunrise, the little cherry ones. We've got these are blue bayou. So we've got some really nice trusses there, just waiting for them to finish ripening. There's loads of those. So these are my tomatillos, which I've had a couple of good crops. Make salsa verde out of that, so I've got a good few jars of that ready for the winter. The rocket is still going, so it's flowered and flowered and flowered, but I'm still able to pick lots of leaf off for eating. Got some lemon basil in there. It was very nice in pims. The larger black tomatoes at the back are Black Russian, right? Got some more beefsteak tomatoes there. I think those are Marmande. Again, we've got a case of all the labels just, the writing just disintegrated. So here I've got some beetroot and some spring onions for later sowings. So there'll be all my beetroot for winter roasts and juicing and things like that. In the back here we've got chickpea, which was just an experimental crop. You can see at the back it's actually being cooked in the sun. It's very, very warm this year. These are just some leftover, I believe they're Calabres that I just popped in just to see how they do in the polytunnel. I've not really grown brassicas and things in a polytunnel before, and I want to overwinter a lot once the tomatoes have gone, just so we've got some winter crop in. So these are all Marmande tomatoes here, got it at the back. I've got some chilies in here, which, poor little things, they just haven't done very well this year. And some radish in between. The chilies are very stunted. And we've got some caraway growing there, and some anise there. So these are some squash beds. So here we've got some butternut squash. There's some strawberries here that were transplanted from the old allotment. Got some courgettes growing. So Romanesco, these ones. Another butternut squash. This bed, this is mostly zucchini or courgette. So my nice round courgettes, my Romanesco. So the round ones are Chiaro Denisa, I believe. Absolutely delicious. I even eat them raw, and I generally don't like raw courgettes. At the end we've got salad bonnet, which is for salads. It's also used in herbal medicine. That's growing nicely. So the leaves taste like cucumber, which is really surprising. So here I've got, this is my second planting of broad beans. So these are all set nicely, just waiting for them to ripen now. I've had some of the early cropping off, but they've done really well, really well. Here I had the second planting of peas. So the first planting was in the polytunnel, and we must have had about 10 kilos of peas off of those. The outdoor ones haven't done so well. The compost hasn't been brilliant. I planted them too close together and they weren't watered brilliantly. We didn't get a hose pipe set up, so things were only hand watered until sort of mid-May. So it made life very, very difficult. So this bed as well, got peas down the end and sunflowers. The idea of planting the sunflowers between was hopefully that the sunflowers would be big enough for the peas to grow up, but the weather conditions weren't great and the peas are nearly over before the sunflowers were tall enough for them to grow. This is my little fuzzy sunflower, little teddy bear. So I've got some greyhound cabbage there, almost ready to pick. Some broccoli that hasn't headed up yet. Also got in this bed, picked most of them already, they come in nice. Got kohlrabi, which I've never grown before. These are, oh, that one's ready, pick this one. These are delicious in stir fries. You can eat the leaves, you can eat them raw, chop them up in salads, really yummy. So another big head of broccoli there. Oh, starting to go to seed, pick that one in a minute. Dun. There we go. All this broccoli, because I've been in work a couple of days, I haven't had a chance to come out and pick it, so it looks like we'll be having something with lots of broccoli for tea tonight. I'll just get the secateurs on those. So the bottom row here I have, so you have beetroot, so all these beetroot will be for pickling. So they're starting to come now, little baby ones at the moment. I might pick them that side and pickle them whole actually. Another row of kohlrabi and onions in between. At the bottom of the row we've got this kale, which is cottager's kale. It's a really old variety. So you can eat the middle leaves, are nice and soft enough to have in salads, and then the bigger leaves you just cook as kale. And now we'll be back with part 2.